Welcome to day 203 of our DeSo journey, sponsored by CloutFeed. I'm Ed Krasenstein here with my twin brother, Brian. And what's today's CloutFeed tip, Brian?
So unlike other apps on the internet, if you use CloutFeed, you can hard press on any post and get post stats, which will give you all kinds of statistics about that post. So check that out.
Well, I didn't even realize that. I'm going to check it out. So yesterday was a huge day on DeSo. DiamondApp.com launched, and it's a different interface. It's a new interface, and like we were kind of suspecting, it was released on a new domain name. It's not on bitclout.com, and we've come to find out that the core team isn't the team who developed this new website app node. It's actually Steven Zeller, known as Zordan on DeSo. And it has a lot of new features. It has a new look, and it has some bugs, as can be expected with a new release. What are your thoughts, Brian?
I like it. I think everybody is gonna take a little bit of time to get used to it because we've been using the other app for anywhere from a couple weeks to 7 months, depending on how long you've been here. So you get used to it. It's just like when Facebook changes their whole user interface, it really confuses people, and actually engagement slows for a little bit until it picks back up. So I expect to see engagement slowly pick back up now. But I do think it takes a little getting used to, just because there's so many different like looks to everything. But I think one thing that's important to say is that Zeller, who wanted to build out a node, I think went to the core team, and the core team worked with him. So I think this isn't like just a random node project. This is a project that the core team influenced, lent code to, and they work together on this. And I think the reason I know there's a lot of people that are kind of criticizing the team because maybe they feel other nodes should have gotten money right off the bat like that. But I think the issue was that, number one, they wanted to push referrals out, because without referrals, you're not going to get the new influx of users. They also want to list on Coinbase. And in order to do this, they wanted to have a clean, easy to use interface, unlike bitclout.com. Bitclout.com is great, but to be honest, it looks like it was built in like 2002. And it was clunky, it was slow. So they wanted something that was a lot better. And I think that's what Diamond App is. But they gave people time. They gave the community 6 months to kind of develop something that would outshine BitClout. And we've seen a lot of nodes pop up, but I mean, they were almost all, except the NFT ones, built in the vision of BitClout, where you had the same basic code, the same basic user interface, and it wasn't getting away from what they needed. So they worked with Zordan, and they gave him money, $1 million, which is 0.5% of their entire foundation's holdings in treasury.
The Octane Fund.
And the Octane Fund is, I'm saying, 0.5% of the entire treasury. The Octane Fund is a quarter of that, 50 million. So they worked with him. He did a great job. The team did a great job. And now this is, for now, where they can send people to, and we can all onboard people to, and it's a really nice user interface. So I understand people criticizing them for that, but this was really their only, I think, real option at this point, unless they want to drag things out for months and months more before getting the referrals and Coinbase listing, or feeling comfortable doing it.
Yeah, and like you said, there's a lot of other nodes out there, but those nodes are just kind of like remakes of bitclout.com. Sure, there's some really cool features on these other nodes, like GiftClout and Times node and Love4 SRC's node. They have their own unique features, but they're not a step above the interface. Like, we needed a modernized interface that kind of puts DeSo in the same light as current social media sites like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, who have more fluid UIs. So I think it was something that needed to be done. And yeah, they got the $1 million well before the Octane Fund was ever announced. But I think that's just because we needed a new node, and
Yeah,
the team
and I
realized
want to
that.
step in and say like there's so many great developers out there doing awesome things, and all those nodes are amazing and gave us the ability to see things before they actually appeared. And maybe they didn't have all the tools they necessarily needed to really
Yeah.
push things forward. So I mean, in all fairness to them, I mean, this is so early in the game. We've got to look like way ahead, and maybe the core team's making a lot of these decisions right now, but unless we grow and bring in new users, it's not going to decentralize. You need more users, more developers, more money flowing into these developers, and then you're going to see a slow decentralization take place.
Yeah, and I think we have to realize that Natter had this vision for DeSo. Maybe it was called BitClout back in the day. Maybe he didn't have it. He probably didn't even have a name for it when he first was working on the idea. And for 2 years, he worked on this idea by himself without anybody else, including the current core team. And that vision combined with his reputation as somebody who is honest and trustworthy, going back to his days with Basecoin and how he gave everybody, all his venture capitalists, their investments back when he realized it wasn't going to be feasible. I think those 2 points are why he was able to raise the $200 million, his vision and his reputation. And I think we just had to give him and the core team an opportunity to bring that vision to fruition before everything gets opened up, before everything becomes decentralized and the community kind of takes over. I think we just had to give him that chance. He deserves that chance. And that's how he raised that money, because he showed that vision. But let's talk a little bit more about DiamondApp. So DiamondApp has 4 feeds as opposed to BitClout, which currently has 2 feeds. There's a hot feed, which is the new hot feed, which uses an algorithm to show posts that are getting engagement. That engagement is ranked by coin price of the people engaging with it. I'm not sure how well it's working. I can already see some issues with it. Like for example, Brian and I, we give out a lot of diamonds, like to new users. We give diamonds to new users. And right now, it seems like anybody we give a diamond to, their post is being shown in the hot feed. So we're trying to figure out what the best strategy is.
Well, I think that as more people start using it and engaging, I think that's going to be less of a concern. It's just
Yeah.
that, like, especially yesterday, like after this change, I think that engagement slowed because everybody's just checking things out and like seeing what works and what doesn't work. So I think give it another week or two, and I think you might see that kind of slow down, and it won't be our one diamond's not going to be as influential, I don't think.
Well, and the node admin has options with the hot feed to change the weight, to change the upper limit for coin price. So we'll see. Maybe Times Node or Gift Cloud will optimize that better. We'll see. There's a new tab, a new feed, which is essentially the old global feed. It's exactly the old global feed. There's still the following feed. And there's a new NFT gallery tab, which for now directs to polygram.cc. So that's like that's how you can view NFTs if you don't want to use the DiamondApp NFT viewer, I guess you could call it. But the NFT section on DiamondApp has been improved as well, where you can now sort NFTs you're bidding on by price, by date, essentially by when it was minted, and by popularity. So that's really cool. I think that's a welcomed addition. And there's other improvements as well. The speed is noticeably a lot better than the speed on bitcloud.com. And that's, I think that's going to be helpful. It was like sometimes you'd click something, you'd get that little tick clock thing that moves around. You'd be waiting, and it was just like Brian said earlier, circa like 2003. Reserve
Yeah,
Pro, go ahead.
I just want to add the messaging system. It's so much smoother, especially on your phone. You don't have the issue where you can't scroll down to where you have to write in the box. It's faster, it's easier to see. So that they did a really good job with messaging, I think.
Yeah, there's still a few bugs in the messaging on mobile. I know some people were having issues with the width, like the message would go wider than their screen so that you scroll over. Reserve profile, this is interesting. Reserve profiles are not shown by default now. When you click on creators, previously on BitClout, it would show all the accounts, including reserve profiles by coin price. Now, the reserve profiles are not shown, but there's a toggle switch where you can turn them on to show them. So I think that's a good thing. A lot of people had issues with BitClout showing reserve profiles and allowing people to invest in these profiles. So I think this is, by default, you don't see them, but if you do want to see them, you can toggle them on. And don't you think that's kind of a good thing, Brian?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I like what they did there for sure.
Another thing is your coin price doesn't show if you're in a feed, the following feed, new feed, hot feed, coin prices of users don't show. The coin price only
I
show.
like that.
Yeah, and coin prices only show if you click on the user and view their profile. The coin prices also don't show in any discussion threads. So when you're reading a thread and there's replies, the replies are still ranked by coin price unless the original poster gives diamonds, then those supersede the coin price replies. But the actual coin price value next to each user is not shown on DiamondApp.com.
Yeah, like I was saying, I really like that. Mainly because I see the creator coin price as just a method of speculating on the creator. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like this in your face thing where everybody's posting and they're saying, hey, look at me, I have a $4,000 coin price. And it kind of makes certain people seem more important than others. So I like that it's not there. Investors can still speculate. It just doesn't have to be front and center on every post and every reply and all
Exactly.
that.
Notifications, if you click on your notifications in Diamond app, you'll now see a rectangle at the top right-hand side of that notification column. And you can click that to contract your notifications. So let's say, for example, Doodles reposted one of our posts. In the normal notifications, it's going to show the actual post that he reposted. But if you hit the contract button, it won't show that post. It will just show a notification saying Doodles reposted you. So you can expand and contract by pressing that button. I think it's useful, especially for people who get a lot of notifications.
Why
And
do we always use Doodles as an example? I wonder. Is it
I don't
just
know, for
he's
some
so
reason,
memorable?
Doodles is the first person that comes to mind whenever I think of another user on DeSo.
It works so well that you were just walking down Chicago and he appeared in front of you, right?
I know, it's just he appears in my mind and he appears in reality for some reason. But additionally, images are showing a lot better. People have noticed that when you upload an image, it doesn't kind of cut it and crop it. It creates it in the right size, the right resolution for the post stream. So that's really, really, really good. I think it's probably better for NFTs as well.
Something else I noticed is the native video now on the desktop version is larger. So like these videos that we were posting on bitclout.com, they're showing so small, could barely tell which one was which. Some people thought I was Eddie, some people thought I was me, but now you can tell because
Now you
it's
can
bigger.
definitely see that Ed's the much better looking twin.
Okay.
So additionally, you can now, oh, you already said messaging's a lot more fluid. That's a word I like using. So you can type in a username, it quickly finds them, you can click on that username and then send a message. So I think that's the main differences other than the referral program, which has launched only for a few people. It hasn't come out to everyone yet. But I think that's going to be coming soon.
Yeah, the referral system right now, every user that gets the referral system on their account, I think it might be limited to those who verified their account. I'm not sure if it's limited further than that, but we got it. You get $100 for your first 3 referrals, and those you refer also get $100. So if I refer my friend Bob, I get $100 when he signs up and verifies, and he gets $100. So after those 3, we actually made the mistake of posting our referral link in an image, and everybody used it to refer their friends so their friends get $100. So we used up our 3. After the 3, it says 0. So I don't know. I'm assuming that if I refer anybody else with that URL, I'm not going to get anything. I think that's going to change though, based on some things we saw in the code about a month ago. So we'll see about that.
Yeah, I imagine what they're going to do is, they're going to have the $100 for the first 3 referrals, and they'll be tiered down. Maybe the rest of your referrals will be $10 or $25. I don't know. Maybe it's tiered several levels. So we'll wait and see. And I'm sure they're going to have that roll the referral program out to all users before long. It's really cool though. I think, everybody has the opportunity to make $300, and the people you refer get $100 for signing up. So it's almost dumb not to sign up.
Well,
If I tell a friend and they say, "Oh, I'm not going to sign up," why not? You sign up, get $100.
yeah, and I kind of want to correct you, because I don't think it's going to be rolled out to all users. I think it's probably, and I might be wrong, going to be rolled out to those who verify with their ID, just because they know those are real people. And if you start allowing bots to refer people, you might have issues there. So I think that they're going to do it for verified users.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. But yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much covers Diamond App. I think the bugs are being worked out as we go.
Yeah,
And
I'm really happy. I think that the next week things are going to settle down a little bit.
yeah, so I mean, I think that's all we have today for day 203 of our DeSo journey. I would like to say NFTZ is resynced now. So everything's back up and working on NFTZ. Thanks to Maybeam for fixing the Postgres issues, which were essentially making it so that NFTZ.zone couldn't get the new data. That's all taken care of. And we look forward to continue developing that. And we'll talk to everybody tomorrow. Remember that these videos are all minted as NFTs now, and the first bidder gets it at 0.25 DeSo. And shout out again to CloutFeed, our sponsor. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you tomorrow on day 204.